Okay, welcome back. So everyone's joining. That's very nice. Okay. It will take us a minute or so. Okay, couple of more people. Okay, just check in the meantime, check if you can hear me. As far as I can see, my microphone is working, but just to make sure that everyone is back again. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. So at the end, you will also receive the video of this webinar. So you will be able to rewatch it if you need and look at the tips one more time. Okay. A couple of more people to join. Okay. So. All right, so I suggest we continue and we'll just add those who want to join a bit later. So we are moving on to someone decided to write something on my screen. Please try not to. That's okay if it was done accidentally. So let's move on to the writing. It's also one of the essential parts of any exam. So take a moment, please, and decide if these statements are true or false. Okay. Okay, still getting the pluses. Okay, so let's look at the answers now. So actually, this information is false. If you look at the handbooks, or if you visit cambridgeenglish.org, where they have all the information about the exams. So for A2, part number 1, it's 25 words, around 25 words or a bit more. Part 2, 35 and more. For B1, each part includes 100 words. It's about 100 words. For B2, 140 to 190 for each part. C1, from 220 to 260 words, both parts. And C2 proficiency, part number 1, 240 to 280, and part 2, 280 to 320. So for most parts, for most exams, it's the same, but for some of them, the word limit is different. So yes, spelling is crucial, and however, not one of the most important things. We will also see why. This one is false, and we will see also why. They are not penalized, but Cambridge does not advise to exceed the word limit. Okay, this one's false, but there are also options. Okay, it's true, but we will look at the some points there as well. Okay, so talking about spelling, this one was taken from C1 and C2 proficiency handbooks. So for C1, it's not specially penalized. Only for C2 proficiency, it's important. So spelling and punctuation are important. Of course, it's a very good idea to proofread the texts that our students write, and a good idea to proofread aloud. Because when you read the text silently, you may not always spot the errors. But when you pronounce the text, like murmuring to yourself, it will help to hear the mistakes and spot them. Okay, so talking about playing safe and not using a range of various structures. So if you can see, if the students uses only simple grammatical forms, they are awarded only 1 point for the range. Of course, this is only one part of their mark. However, it's a good idea to make an attempt and use more complex grammar structures, even though there might be some errors. It's a good idea to try out. So, the word limit. There is no penalty for exceeding it, but if the students write less than necessary, there is a pitfall. They may not have developed all the points in the sufficient depth. So they might have lost or missed one of the points in the rubric. So it's always essential to underline everything they need to include in the writing and consistently check if they actually included everything. If the students write more, they may include irrelevant information, something that was not necessary there. And there is a rule. If they write more, the more you write, the more mistakes you make. So in order to avoid those extra mistakes, it's a good idea to stick within the word limit. Not less, not more. If we talk about their opinion, so if they are asked in the task, it's essential to include the opinion there. the content points, the points that were students asked to include in their writings are more important. The task completion is more important there than their opinion. And of course, there is no penalty for lying. So if the students have no particular opinion on the topic, they can always use somebody's idea, and Cambridge will actually never know if that was their own opinion or not. The main point is to show their language level. The ideas are not tested here. As for drafting, so the time allowed for the writing paper is designed to include a brief plan, but not to rewrite the texts twice. So having a couple of notes or brief plan is a good idea, but making fair copies, they will not have enough time for that, and they may not just finish on time. So it's essential to teach the learners to make brief and efficient plans and to use them while making their final texts. And as for counting words, as we've just discussed, but it's a good idea to stick within the word limit. So your students approximately or know approximate number of words that fit within the line. So they may count the words like this. So they may count the number of words in one line and then multiply it by the number of lines. They will have approximate, of course not the exact number of words, but it will still give them an overall impression where they are in terms of the word limits. Okay, and the final part, it's speaking. Again, look at these and decide if they are true or false. All right, so let's look at them. Okay, it's advisable for the students to feel more confident when they come into the classroom where the speaking part is held. At least they know that they will be speaking in pairs and that they will need to complete particular tasks. Yes, it is possible to ask for clarification because we all understand that the learners are nervous and that due to that condition, they may mishear something. So they can ask for clarification either from the interlocutor or from their partner. These they can be trained, so it's false, but they can be trained to speak within the time limits that are requested by or estimated by Cambridge, and you can find that information in the handbook. However, the students should not stop. Okay. But another point is they will be stopped by the interlocutor. But when they do collaborative tasks, it's a good idea to initiate the collaboration and not to be dominant while speaking, because that can be penalized by the examiners. So as the task is collaborative, they need to show that they can collaborate with their partner when discussing a task. All right, as I've mentioned, so as the speaking is tested in this part, if the students have no idea what to say, they can lie, because this is where they can show that they know the language at this level. Okay. All right, so these are the main points. So at the speaking, yes, so when the students are talking in pairs, yes, so it's important to ask them and to not to dominate, and also to, if they hear that their other partner is silent, to ask the questions and to make the partner speak, because being dominant is not a very good idea at the speaking part. So also what students may learn, and they need to know how to do, if they don't know a word, they could use different paraphrasing techniques. This will also help them if they suddenly forgot or the word slipped out of their mind, so they can use the phrases in order to explain what they actually mean in this particular situation, rather than just keeping silent. All right, and it's also not a very good idea to learn something by heart. So they should be able to speak on the spot on something. So now this one was that they do not lose any points if they can't remember the exact word, so they can use paraphrasing techniques. All right, so now let's discuss the questions. We've got some time. So if you want to ask your question by means of your voice, so please do. Or if I will unmute you, you can raise your hand for that. Or you can type the question in the chat box so we can discuss them. Okay, seems like okay. So while probably someone's typing the question, for all the information about a particular exam that you would like to train your students for, you can visit cambridgeenglish.org. There you can download sample tasks with all the answers, with all the explanations, with all the information about each part and which skills are tested in a particular task, whether it's listening for specific information or for general idea or for detailed comprehension, or if this is reading as well. All the parts are described in detail, and using handbooks is always a good idea when preparing your students and preparing yourself for the exam. Also, you can find sample speaking tasks, and you can use, for example, YouTube videos to show the students what a listening part looks like and what they should be expected to do in the speaking part. Some books also suggest, or some trainers suggest, videos of speaking parts. So if you're willing to use those, so please, you're welcome. Okay, seems like we do not have any questions. So in any case, so if you are personally interested in any Cambridge exam, so you can visit our website, ilc.org.ua, and there you can register for an exam, or if your school wants to take exams, we're also running, our school also runs the exams for other schools who would like to take them. They can be in-house or in our premises. So please, if you're interested, go to the website and you can find all the necessary contacts and information regarding taking the exams. What's the way of getting certificates? So you were receiving the email from Irina Plahotnik with the details about the this webinar. So you should email her and she will answer the questions about the certificates. All right? Okay. So, okay. So you will, as I mentioned, you will receive both parts of this presentation, I think a bit later today. So thank you very much for joining. Thank you very much for being interested in exams. Okay. Thank you for your feedback. I'm very happy that this webinar was helpful, and I wish you all staying safe, surviving the quarantine. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we will be out very soon, but we never know. If you're interested in any other webinars, please follow us on Facebook, and it's International Language Center Teacher Training. We will be posting and announcing more webinars within, so there will be some next week and there will be some in a week later. So we just want you not to waste the time and to still get inspired and get extra information for teaching your students and being successful as teachers, and being informed with the latest I don't know, nuances in teaching. So I think there are no more questions. So thank you very much one more time. Stay safe and join us later. Okay, thank you very much. Goodbye, and see you when I see you. Bye bye, ladies.